Yeah, we got a double deep dive today. I know we have Dave Mason from Bet Online coming up next, but we've also got Eastern Conference NBA second half preview. We got to do it. We got to do the Western Conference tomorrow because the league gets right back on track on Thursday. So let's get into it. NBA Eastern Conference standings right now. And there's 1 and 2. Toronto and Boston. They've been the two best teams all year. Cleveland sitting at number 3. And then, boy, what a hodgepodge. Washington, Indiana, Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Miami, all basically within 3 games of one another. And Detroit and Charlotte both still in contention. I only went 10 deep. The Knicks at number 11, they're not making the postseason. Charlotte's probably not making the postseason at 10, but I put them in the mix. We talk about the second half. So we talk about the race at the top, Toronto and Boston. The Raptors have better depth. The Raptors have better experience. And oh, by the way, this is a Toronto team. You know, Brad Stevens is getting love all over the place. Cleveland's in the headlines every day. Milwaukee's a team that's gotten a fair bit of hype. Miami's a team that's gotten hype. Detroit's making noise. Nobody's paying any attention to the Raptors. I understand they're north of the border. But Toronto's been a monster moneymaker. In fact, you look at the best teams against the spread so far this season in the NBA, they're all from the East. Boston's number 1, Philly's number 2, Toronto's number 3. So we ask ourselves, do we expect more of the same or have the markets caught up with these teams? I'm not convinced the markets have caught up with any of them. In particular, the Raptors. You know, Toronto's got depth. They're playing defense. We'll talk about that in a minute. And of course, the experience is there. They've got the backcourt. They've got the inside-outside combo. Toronto, to me, is a team that, let's put it this way, there's upside with the Raptors, both ATS and perhaps in terms of futures. We look at the Cleveland Cavs right now, and I got to talk about Cleveland. This team's probably too far back now to chase down the number 2 seed in the East. They don't care. We're talking about a team that is 18-37-1 against the spread. Literally, if you bet on the Cavs every game, or you bet against the Cavs every game, you cash 2 out of 3. Better than 2 out of 3 since the beginning of the season. The second worst team ATS, Oklahoma City. They're 25-34 ATS. So we're talking about the Cavs with 7 fewer covers than the number 29 ranked point spread team in the league. It's the elephant in the room. How good's Cleveland going to be? How much upside is there for this squad? Now that some of the deadwood's been brushed out, some of the young guys are in, LeBron seems energized, there's a potential that Cleveland might be a moneymaker for us. And the truth is, right now, this is a Cavs team that I had middle of the pack. I mean, I really had them power rated way low, and it did me very well. Right now, I got 3 teams power rated higher than the Cavs. Houston, Golden State, and Toronto. That's it coming out of the break. There might be some money with Cleveland, but to be made with Cleveland, the question is how fast the markets are going to adjust. We look at the race after Cleveland in the top 3. You know, Boston, Philly, Toronto. And Philly's not top 3. I think Philly might be top 3 when all's said and done. But, you know, all the spots are open down the stretch. You look at 3 teams in particular, the Pacers, the Bucks, and the 76ers. I like these 3 teams. You know, all 3 of them in moneymakers in the first half. I think all 3 have the potential to continue to be moneymakers. The kind of dangerous teams. They have nothing to lose, everything to gain. And here's the key, is I don't think any of those 3 have played their best basketball yet. So there's upside for Philly down the stretch, Milwaukee, and Indiana. Miami, I'm not so sure. Miami might be the other end of the spectrum. The Heat have really overachieved to their talent level, their injuries, et cetera, et cetera. And you look at their stats, you say, has this team already overachieved? I'm not looking to sell Miami short. The statistical databases always sell the Heat short. But on the other hand, Miami not necessarily, certainly as a home favorite, I don't want the Heat. I love the Heat in the road dog roll. Talk about winning the East. Who's going to play defense? Well, hey, remember before I was talking about the great point spread teams? Oh, look at them. They're all right here on the NBA full season defense chart. Boston, San Antonio's number 2, Philly and Toronto, the 3 point spread ATS juggernauts. They're right there on the defensive end. Can the Celtics, Sixers, and Raptors continue to play that level of defense? I don't see any reason why they won't. There's nothing that stands out as a reason to expect a decline. Anything to look at the bottom of the conferences, really? You look at the lottery-bound teams. I don't recommend betting on tanking teams down the stretch. In fact, there's good money to be made sometimes laying double digits against some of these tanking teams down the stretch. But we saw Brooklyn, Atlanta, and Chicago all profitable through the break. In fact, all top quartile in the top quarter of the league, ATS, through the All-Star break. Of that trio, I saw the Nets play hard throughout February when it's hard to do. I saw the Hawks play hard throughout February. Those are two teams that potentially continue to offer their backers some point spread results. Eastern Conference today. We'll do Western Conference tomorrow. Talk about some of the storylines and the point spread trends to be aware of right here on SportsBit. But coming up next, it's time to go down to Costa Rica. We'll talk to Dave Mason from BetOnline.com. Another deep dive. How the books faring and what are they worried about? Stay tuned right here on SportsBit. Betting Insight today from SBRpicks.com. Like the show? Help us keep the lights on. Please make sure to comment, share, and subscribe to all the Sportsbook Review videos. Thanks so much. Best of luck. Enjoy the game.